Hey guys, I've been wanting to make this video for a while. These are all my Wizards of the Coast air and misprint slabs I have left. I've probably cracked about 20 of them for the binder collection. So these ones are all base set, and then this is Jungle through Gym, and then this little stack is like Neo and Beyond. So I'll try to go through these as quick as possible. So here's just a little movie promo. Double crimp, extremely rare air when you get that cut line. This was a really recent pickup for like 350 bucks. Here's a pretty cheap one, but it was cool how it's a PSA 9 and it has this little hair obstruction hickey on the gold border. It actually connects. I've found fighting energy it actually connects to, but I wasn't able to buy it off the person. Just got this today. Here's a Sunbeam Shadowless Bulbasaur Air. It's missing the blue ink on that spot and missing some gloss, so it's kind of matte right here. So a really rare repeating one. This one's fucking sick. This is almost perfect condition besides this roller grind air. Just makes like a sweet little hollow bleed. Not really showing right now, but yeah, there's just besides the grind, it's almost perfect condition. Just CGC has no idea about these airs, or they think they could be recreated somehow. But I have a ton of these. I have a few base, I have fossil, jungle hollows. It's definitely a thing, but CGC isn't hip to it yet. So maybe I'll try again one day. Here's a water obstruction on a Doug Trio, Telefunny. It's like a perfect fucking air. Alt art. Here is a crimped and cut card. Like you can see a little bit was actually cut there. Crimson cut. So eradicate. Here's one of those grayscale fillers. I definitely overspent on this when I used to think they were like insanely hard to come by, but over the years they've been popping up. They're from either Shadowless base set or Unlimited base set. I've heard so many accounts of both, so I have no idea. And CGC won't even put Wizards of the Coast, which is a joke. It's clearly it should be 1999 Wizards of the Coast, but they won't admit it without proof. Here's a sick PSA 9 black hickey looking like a ghost in the background. I've seen only two identical copies of this one. It's a repeating one. Have this. Here's another repeating Shadowless Air. The blue ink is just kind of scattered. There's a little blue line there. I've seen probably about like 5 of these. They all have that blue line weirdly, but the ink can be scattered like all the way over here on some copies. Here's a yellow screen hollow Machamp. There's like a screen going across the whole card. There's like yellow lines going vertically. This is a really sick one. This is a PSA fail pink sticky note that they like put in there and didn't even realize. Fucking idiocy of PSA. Here's a half square cut Squirtle. Thanks Haas for this trade. We did a cool trade on this one. Those are extremely rare. And then my boy Shocker B hooked me up with this gold border Shadowless Charmander. They gave it an additional ink, but like up close, it's almost like looks the gold ink was dirty or something, but it's hard to tell on the camera right now, but it's definitely darker and has a cool look to it. All right, I'm gonna get out my jungle now. I just have these 4. Here's a 8.5 Flareon with a water obstruction on the back. It would have been on the blue layer, so it's just missing blue ink. Kind of boring. but I used to be obsessed with those, so would get any ones I can. Here's another yellow screen hollow. They're really fucking rare on jungle and base. It's just like I've only seen a handful of them. This was a lucky find on the Facebook group for $250. Also got the other Machamp for $250. Here's one of my first big air purchases. I bought this for fucking $2,000, thinking it was such a deal. And then I realized when I got it, it actually has a blue hickey right here. And that's a repeating one. I've seen a ton of them actually have that. Maybe like a third of them have that. And this one's really unique because, or just special because it actually has Jungle Promo first edition on it. Most of them say Pokemon League, which is wrong. So this old Slab, crazy, they got it right. It's like a secret rare pull from first edition Jungle Packs. Here is a repeating Jungle Black ink obstruction. It's like missing the black ink up this area. I have a couple of these. Pretty rare and not too known. Alright, I'll get out my fossil. Here's a Geodude with insufficient ink. It's kind of missing some of the red ink. So the HP is coming up as orange. This background art should be way more red. I guess just it was just low, running low. Here's a sick miscut Kabuto. And this one got an OC just because it's showing a tiny bit of the border. Got gypped on that one. Oh my god, this is one of the best obstructions I've ever had. It's almost like a piece of paper or plastic was folded up on the blue layer. So all these pink lines are like a hickey where it's missing the blue ink, and then where the actual obstruction is, it's oversaturated with blue ink. Just looks like the craziest alt art I've ever seen. Just going fucking psycho, out of its mind. And this one's looking super broke. It's looking like something's going on beyond just the already how the art is. That was really lucky. These both got obstruction labels, which is accurate. This is a really cool one. It's has this white line of missing gold ink, and there's actually a ridge because the hollow layer was glued, like shifted to the right on the paper stock when they made the hollow stock. And I've only seen this on Fossil First Edition and Unlimited Hollows. It's only the cards on the leftmost column of the sheet. This is one of the best ones I have too. It's a water obstruction across the white layer. So it has a crazy hollow bleed. Has a little swirl on its foot. Picked this up for only $300 on a eBay auction. These are some of the most beautiful areas besides hollow shifts in my mind. Alright, let's get the rest out. Here's Rocket Set. Here's a Dark Charizard with, I call this the like red tail obstruction. Almost looks like, its tail going to the back of the card, but this is also like that Psyduck. It's where like a piece of something like plastic, tape, paper was on the red layer, so it packed on additional red ink, but the edge of it is blue, light blue, because it's missing the magenta ink. So it's kind of, obstructions just make pretty much a hickey if you think about it. Here's a just an OC dark Charmeleon. I think it has a part of an alignment dot there. It should have got a minor miscut slab in my opinion. Oh well. Oh, I fucking love these two. These two were like connecting. So the guy also had a Gyarados in a CGC 9, but he was willing to sell me these two, but hold on to the Gyarados. And it's a water obstruction across the blue layer, so it's just missing the blue ink only. So instead of a purple suit, he has a red suit. So it's an alt art. And then this one's just it's yellow because it's missing the blue across it. Pretty crazy. Insufficient ink. It should have been obstruction, but insufficient ink is accurate enough, I guess. Here's a miscut. It's got a minor miscut. Misty's Tentacruel has a nice ass alignment dot there. Micro shift they call them. It's really beautiful. Gym airs are really hard to come by. This one I recently just picked up off eBay. Really lucky grab as a miscut qualifier. Crazy ass art. There's like blood on the wall, and it's like the card is like it's like you can't retreat because they're behind bars. They're like locked in. It's extremely rare. It looks like completely cut off there, showing a part of a blue card on the bottom. And then, oh, I had some more Rocket. My bad. Here's a blue tape obstruction Grimer. I have two of these identical. There's a sleep connected to it that's also has this like cloud of missing blue ink. It's just like a hickey. Just it packs on blue ink over the object, and then around it, it's kind of like missing the ink because the roller kind of lifted over this object, and there was like a slight gap. Additional ink. Yeah, this should have been an obstruction. Whatever. Here's one of the few gray stamps I have. This is a really nice, like, obvious one. Super faded and one of my favorite artworks from Rocket Set. Insufficient ink. Look how they covered it with the sticker. That's so stupid. Come on. And then here's a dark Arbok. It's missing the yellow ink, and it has like a tiny little hollow bleed. I've seen around like 5 of these. It's a repeating error. Should have got obstruction, but it's insufficient ink. And then here's on to Neo Genesis. These two came together. It's got this, I think it's a gold border ink. Just looking hella nasty. Love this artwork. It's really bright. It's a cool one. Yeah, they don't like obviously connect or anything, but clearly from the same sheet and from the same seller. Here's a weird obstruction. I've looked this under a microscope. It's definitely a legit error. I just don't get how it packed on additional blue ink there and additional magenta on the left side of it. And then at the bottom of the border here, there's like some additional magenta. And if you kind of like follow it up, there's also magenta here too. And just under a microscope, the magenta ink is real. I couldn't tell if all the edge, it's kind of dirty. But yeah, this is definitely legit. And they agreed. Just 2 paddles. bad condition. It's just like some black spots around all the edges. Here's a Neogenesis. There's kind of like additional blue ink spots here. It's kind of hard to see. I have a first edition Sneasel with this air. It's way more obvious than this one. Probably crack this out and put in the binder next to the Sneasel. Here's a Kabutops with an obstruction error. It's like one of those water obstructions across the blue layer. So it just blocked out some of the blue and some of the other ones. It's kind of a cool effect because it's like underwater and it got a water obstruction. Here's an Umbreon full crimp. Unfortunately, it didn't get like a cut line or a double crimp for some reason. It's just like really partial, but really good condition and an insane card. Yeah, really lucky. I got this on an eBay auction for pretty cheap. No one really wanted it. Got this one for pretty cheap on eBay too. Beautiful Eevee from that set. I was like stoked to have these together, both 8s and in a nice CGC Air Slab. Got a alignment dot down there. Minor miscut. Oh man, this was such a good grab last year. $200 for this on a Facebook auction. Inverted back, baby. This is the only rare from Neo Revelation that I've found with this. Like, I don't know how you could just find one air card from a set and there's no other known like rares. I've seen 2 uncommons from this set also having it. I have one of them. It's like an unknown. But yeah, maybe there's more out there. This one is a single square corner. This is a really sick one from Legendary Collection. Christopher Rush. He did some like magic cards. This Legendary Collection airs are almost impossible to find, and it's got a 10 centering. It's pretty dope. And then here is a Pichu from Expedition base set. Has a nice alignment dot up there. This might be worthy of grading with CGC. Those Expedition errors are almost impossible to find. It's just one of those sets that doesn't have a lot of errors. So I try to grab any ones I can. I think I got this for like 200. And I think that's about it. Yeah, that's my graded slab collection. Thanks for watching.